Just 2 miles east from where I'm standing is where a Border Patrol agent lost his life. He was out fishing with family members when 2 armed men came and shot him and his father. Students at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, are left in shock today after late last night at about 11:30 p.m. a sexual assault was reported right here in parking lot L. Now, the victim has confirmed that the suspect is about an 18-year-old Caucasian male. Authorities have been working on this case since late last night. They also have said that the suspect was passing around business cards pertaining to a computer service repair. Now, the victim claims she was assaulted from behind and dragged into a black pickup truck. Keeping you informed on the latest in Kingsville, Texas, I'm Sydney Hernandez. Police have officially released the name of the teacher accused of having sexual relations with a student. Jay Travis, an English teacher at Brooklyn Studio Secondary School, has confessed to having sex with a student. Now, all of this started through text messages. Now, authorities have confirmed that the teacher did have sex with the senior at least 4 to 5 times. Now, they have stated that the meetings took place on campus, at the school's park, and even the tennis courts. In Kingsville, Texas, I'm Sydney Hernandez. We use electricity everywhere we go. In our homes, in our offices, and now the Rio Grande Valley is getting 345,000 more kilowatts of it. After 15 years of waiting, they assure us the Rio Grande Valley will never be left in the dark. And the pothole problem continues here on campus of A&M Kingsville, where our students have repeatedly voiced their concern about the potholes here. As you can see, we have a tripod right in the middle of one of our potholes in the Manning Hall parking lot. Now, as you can see, it's only halfway in there, lots of other space, and there are many potholes just like this all over the campus. Now, we've made several calls to the University Police Department and the Kingsville Police Department. They have assured us that there is a grant in the works of a couple of $1,000s to get a cold mix of asphalt to fill these potholes and repave the Kingsville streets. Now, that is one less worry for our Javelinas. This is a continuous story that will be regaining coverage. Count on the Javelina Broadcast Network to keep you updated. In Manning Hall, I'm Sydney Hernandez. Kingsville police raided an apartment today at 1 p.m. with approximately 90 pounds of cocaine. Now, the police were tipped off by suspicious neighbors who felt constant traffic flow coming in and out at odd hours. Now, the homeowners have been contacted and detained and taken in for questioning. In Kingsville, I'm Sydney Hernandez, Javelina Nation News. Welcome to the beautiful Angelo State University, where your Texas A&M University Kingsville Javelinas are taking on Angelo State University Rams. Now, the Rams are ranked number 25 nationally, and their overall record is 4-2, with their record 2-1 in the LSC Conference. Now, keep watching the Javelina Broadcast Network to bring you all of this game's highlights, along with post-game interviews. In San Angelo, Texas, I'm Sydney Hernandez. Welcome to Javelina Showtime. My name is Sydney Hernandez with the Javelina Broadcast Network, and welcome to AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, where your Texas A&M Kingsville Javelinas are playing A&M Commerce. Well, here's the ball game for our Javelina fans. Javelinas just won their 2015 home opener here at the beautiful Javelina Stadium, 38-20 against Missouri S&T. Now, our Javelinas did score 4 touchdowns on their path, and this is the brand new start to the Javelina era of 2015 football. Very excited for all of us here and all the fans. Reporting to you live from Javelina Stadium, my name is Sydney Hernandez with the Javelina Broadcast Network. Go Hogs! We are finally getting a look at the house where our suspect was barricaded in for nearly 4 hours. If you look behind me, you can see the bullet holes and the rubble from the deadly gunfire. This is what residents in La Jolla heard Tuesday night after deadly gunfire broke out, leaving 2 officers injured and 1 gang member dead. That gang member is Joaquin Cibrain, a member of the notorious Texas Syndicate gang. He barricaded himself inside this house and repeatedly fired shots at police.
I've been a police officer for almost over 12 years in the Valley, and I've never seen something like this.
The gun battle happened on 9.5 Street near Leo Avenue. Hundreds of local, state, and federal law enforcement responded to the scene.
We contacted all the surrounding small police departments for additional assistance. DA showed up, the tactical force showed up, FBI, tactical FBI, everybody showed up.
Our Our cameras were rolling as the final rounds of gunfire were shot just before 9 that night. La Jolla Mayor Fito Salinas says gang violence is not something they worry about often.
We don't have that kind of a problem. We don't have the groups of gangs that you read about in other valley cities.
Authorities tell Action Force several police vehicles were damaged in the gunfire.
Broken windows, debris all over, bullet holes. You can see them from far away.
Now, La Jolla Chief Giovanni Hernandez says his officers will be taking precautionary measures to make sure they are safe.
We need to do counter surveillance just to make sure that nobody's following us, nobody's scouting the police department. We're gonna be out there doing whatever it takes to detect any threat against us.
The extra measures to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. Right now, one of the wounded officers has been released from the hospital. We are learning that the other officer is in stable condition. Bringing you the latest from La Jolla, Sydney Hernandez, Action 4 News. Right behind me are Valley citizens fighting for border protection. They are standing on the bridge with posters, flags, and patriotic symbols, trying to gain the government's attention. A group called the Overpasses for America Association is protesting illegal immigration and welcoming extra security across the border. They say they want the community to know that they are fighting for their homes.
We live down here, we work down here. We need a little security, and our federal government owes us that.
The association has planned rallies all around the state. They say they'll be showing support as the border convoy arrives Friday. One protester says her main goal is for the federal government to take note of the immigration crisis and realize more resources are necessary.
We can't do it. We cannot afford to feed our own poor. We can't afford to take care of our own elderly. We can't afford to take care of our veterans. We have no business taking on the poor of the entire world.
The Overpasses for America Association says they are not going to stop until this border crisis is handled. In McAllen, Sydney Hernandez, Action 4 News. You can see Border Patrol has the aerostat right above the city of Panitas, and this levee doubles as a border wall. But even with all these innovative tools, undocumented immigrants are still finding a way to cross the border. Just recently, 2 suspected immigrants were found dead in this area.
We believe that the person is an undocumented immigrant that was trying to enter the United States.
Wednesday, a man's body was found in Penitas near Military Road. The man appears to be in his 20s, but it is still unclear how he died. Neighbors tell Action 4 that immigration traffic is extremely high around these areas, and they themselves have had contact with immigrants.
There was a lady that came in like maybe a month ago, and she had a baby, and she was standing outside, so I asked her if she needed some help. And of course, she said yes, and that she wanted to turn herself in.
This small town where Marta Zamora grew up is now full of illegal traffic. She says the increase in Border Patrol and illegal immigration can be alarming.
It's a concern because we don't know who they are, and there's people dying here.
Crossing illegally is risky, putting the lives of undocumented immigrants in danger.
There's a lot of risks involved when somebody tries to enter the United States. There's risks when they're in the river, and also there's risks because of the extreme heat.
Zamora says Border Patrol watches the area regularly on the ground and in the air, but many of the immigrants aren't hiding.
They stand by there and they're just waving them down so they can get picked up.
Zamora tells us it's concerning to see immigrants in her area, despite the border fence right across her backyard. Zamora lives less than a mile from where the man's body was found and says if he would have just knocked on her door, things might have ended differently.
Help him. I would give him water. Yes, I would.
Why?
He's human.
So far this year, the Sheriff's Office has confirmed 16 dead undocumented immigrants in Hidalgo County alone. Right now, authorities are just waiting on autopsy results to see how those 2 individuals died. In Penitas, Sydney Hernandez, Action 4 News.
From the campus of A&M Kingsville, covering your local, national, and campus news. You're watching Javelina Nation News.
Hello, Javelinas, and welcome to Javelina Nation News. I'm Sydney Hernandez.
And I'm Shelby Purdy. This is your daily dose of upcoming Texas A&M University Kingsville events alongside local and national news.
Your Javelina Nation News starts now. A&M Kingsville has a new queen. 12 women competed in the 2015 Miss Texas A&M University Kingsville Scholarship Pageant for the title of Miss Tamook. The pageant consisted of an interview, casual wear, and evening gown competition. This year it was judged by Grace Rubio, the 1990 Miss Texas A&I, Thomas Bingham, the former Tamook student body president and founder of the bigger event, alongside Hillary Elizondo, the 2008 Miss Teen Texas International. Georgia Dunn won the title of second runner-up and Savannah Stroman won first runner-up. They will both receive scholarships. The 2014 Queen, Samia Damidi, crowned Carson Alsip as the 2015 Miss Tamook. Alsip will receive a $2,000 scholarship and serve as Miss Tamook for a year. Jodi Arias will spend the rest of her life behind bars. Arias, known as the vengeful ex-girlfriend, has been sentenced to life in prison. She brutally took the life of ex-boyfriend Travis Alexander nearly 8 years ago. In court, Judge Sherry Steffen said the court finds as the jury found that the crime was especially cruel. Arias remains and has been behind bars since her 2008 arrest. A Kingsville police officer has been indicted on charges related to the alleged abuse of his girlfriend. Public court documents tell us that Joshua Grant is accused of causing bodily injury to the female. The first count against Grant is for continuous family violence. The indictment says he bit the victim's hand and assaulted her to the ground. Count 2 is for obstruction. Grant is accused of threatening to harm or assault his girlfriend to keep her from speaking to authorities. Count 3 is for tampering with evidence. Grant is accused of telling the victim what to say to police in order to withhold information. Each count is a third-degree felony charge. No word yet on when it will go to trial, but count on Javelina Nation News to bring you the latest information. Joshua Grant is currently on administrative leave without pay.
Welcome to Tailgating Behind the Scenes here at Pepsi Tailgate Central. I'm Montana Hernandez and I'm here with some student athletic trainers to talk about how they keep our football players safe and ready for Javelina game day right after this commercial break.